Jason Kelce. Let's get it up for NFL former Eagle, Barrett Brooks.
The fact that we still have players coming back who are no longer with the Eagles, they understand the Philadelphia community and specifically Eagles fans.
We're in year 6. It's crazy to think about. This all just started on the beach. It was put together in 2 days 6 years ago to where it is now. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, what an event benefiting the Eagles Autism Foundation. And what a time it was for this guy, Mr. Barrett Brooks, down in Seattle yesterday at the shore, along with the Super Bowl champ, B. Brooks. I'm Danny Pommells. This is Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL. You were right there on location for this show yesterday in the mix, Barrett, serving as a guest bartender for Jason Kelce's Team 62 event. How'd the rest of the night go for you?
You know, I can't believe I call this work. I can't believe I get paid for this. You know, I mean, it was absolutely an amazing event, you know, for people coming out supporting Eagles Autism. It was just a great event, and I had a great time while I was down there.
And you carry it well, sir. Sure looked like a great time. And speaking of a great time, this was from DeVonta Smith's wedding weekend, a video surfacing of the groom and Jalen Hurts cutting it up, maybe even a smile from QB1 there as they hit the shuffle. Congrats.
It was a smile, wasn't it?
And his wife, Maya. Hey, guys, sorry I couldn't make it, but I appreciate the invite. I couldn't make it out there. I threw the invite, but I couldn't make it.
They having a good old time. That's what you call, country's a box of cornflakes, man. That's Southern boys, man. That's Southern hospitality right there, bro.
That brings us to our three-point stance presented by Toyota. Stance number 1, the Jalen Hurts-DeVonta Smith connection is going to be electric this season. And no, I'm not talking about the electric slide, Barrett. Without A.J. Brown, how much damage can this duo do?
There are going to be a lot of defensive coordinators going to lose sleep over this tandem. A lot of the times, they would just have Smitty over there and lined up and just staying there. Well, now with this offense and how complex it's going to be as far as putting him in motion, line him up one place and then going around and have him go in motion. It's hard enough to try to stop him one-on-one when he's sitting there right in front of you and he still beats you and creates separation. But now they're going to be putting him in motion. Now a guy can't put his hands on him, and he gets full speed to run to the guy and then make a move. That separation is going to be crazy. And I know at this point, Jalen Hurts is going to love this combination because he knows how good this guy can be. He makes it very easy to throw the ball to him because he's going to have separation. And I just can't wait to see how this offense is going to implement. Plus, with play action, alongside him being, Jalen Hurts being in the center, and now getting up and having that defense bring a safety down. You put a safety in the box. Now you can't roll coverage to Smitty. Now you can't double team him, high-low him, and now he's one-on-one with a guy or in zone coverage where he can go to the open spot. This is going to be one of those offenses. It's going to be hard to stop. They just got to get everybody else on the same page. And, at this point, I believe Jalen Hurts will make sure that this is his call. Say, hey, everybody, I kept all the receipts. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get back to my Pro Bowl standards that I'm used to playing with anyways. This is where I'm going to, turn the corner and become the quarterback that I always knew I am, but you guys didn't know. And Smitty, he is a number one receiver, wide receiver. He's been a number one. Even when, Jalen, when they had A.J. here, he was still a number one, type of receiver. They roll covers somewhere else, he could be the guy to go out there and beat you one-on-one. So this offense is going to be amazing simply because you can't get your hands on guys that are moving around in pre-snap reads. Defensive coordinators are going to have to stop that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, how many quarterbacks out there have the resume of Jalen Hurts? Like, stop the criticism.
Right.
And Smitty put on some muscle, too. So
and he's bigger, too?
Yeah.
More physical? I mean, he already, they say, he's skinny. He plays better with 50-50 balls, even better than, I would say, A.J. last year. He's not scared to go up there and get it. A couple of times he went up there and high-pointed the ball, came down, on his back, on his ribs, and got up and kept running. He's one of those guys, you don't have to worry about him. He doesn't get hurt a lot. This is going to be a great year for that young man to go out there and have a great season, show everybody that, yeah, he is a number one receiver. I'm a Heisman Trophy winner. Come on now, what accolade haven't I done? Well, I'm going to get it done this year, too.
Let's hop to the other side of the ball with our second stance. Cooper DeJean might end up being one of the most popular Eagles ever. How about it? You have the likes of Brandon Graham, Brian Dawkins, and Jason Kelce with near-perfect approval ratings from the fan base. Now, DeJean seems poised to join those ranks, and you saw him and the love he gets up close and personal yesterday, Barrett.
Oh, it was crazy. I sat back and I saw him. There were times, the fans were singing just directly to him. You know what I mean? They're singing songs directly to him. He is definitely Mr. Philadelphia, and he did it, not because of anything other than him going out there, busting his butt, and becoming one of the best guys on that defense. I looked at it, I said, he's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He had 93 tackles last year. He had 64 solo tackles, 2 interceptions. And he's one of the smartest players on the field. And now they're going to put him, at safety when they go into their base package. And let me, tell everybody, him being at safety won't diminish what he is as a player. When he goes to safety, that just means they're bringing a linebacker in. And they used to have to take him out when they did that. No, you can't let one of your best players go out of the game because you're bringing in linebackers. A lot of teams now are going to start running the ball. It's the new trend with the NFL now. You look at the Bears, you look at the Eagles. I mean, you look at what's going on with the 49ers. You run the ball to set up the run. It's kind of, teetering towards that instead of going out there and being pass happy. So you're going to have base defense in there. Base meaning 3 linebackers instead of 2. We run a lot of sub packages or a lot of, packages where, you have your nickel in there. And he'd be that nickel back, the guy out there in the slot. He's an amazing player. He can go out there, cover wide receivers one-on-one. He can come up and support the run. He can cover tight ends. And I didn't know he was that big. Just being next to him, he's a big kid. I mean, I didn't know he was 200 pounds. He's 6 foot. He's kind of stocky. So this will be another breakout year for him. And, that's why Vic Fangio loves him. You can put him anywhere, and he'll succeed. I believe you can put him on the edge. He can become an edge rusher. He's that type of talent. So, this is going to be one of those years where you're going to have to sit back and watch everywhere that they put him. He's going to be a Swiss Army knife in different places in this defense.
Thank God that pre-draft injury kind of let him slide to the Eagles.
Right.
Let's get to our third stance. Bryce Huff is bitter about his time as an Eagle. The Birds inked the pass rusher to a 3-year, $51 million contract before the 2024 season. He saw limited reps and then eventually got hurt before being traded to the 49ers after 1 year. Now, Huff spoke about his time in Philly on the Caps Off podcast, saying it was off from the very start.
Really, OTAs, honestly. I knew it was kind of off.
Yeah.
Because we went in and we didn't do any pass rush drills the entire OTAs. Like, it was just, like, dropping in coverage. So I'm like, they brought me here to rush, but, like, all we were doing the entire camp, or all spring camp, was just, like, dropping in coverage and learning coverages. So I thought that was weird. And then we get to camp before we even put on pads. It's like the first week of camp, DC goes in the media is like, I don't think he can stop the run. I don't think he has what it takes to do the job right now.
Yeah.
And the fans ate it up. Like, they just lost it.
Yeah.
And I, like, me being like an undrafted guy and never having people talk to me about whatever, like, fans were always supportive in New York. To go there and everybody just, like, grilling me before we even put pads on, like, bro, what are we on right now? Like, that was just weird.
Hey, Barrett, he looked washed in his last year with the Jets and then came here and didn't show improve. The Eagles did kind of whiff, though, on this $51 million.
No, did not. They kind of.
They still won the Super Bowl. They still won the daggone chip. What do you make of his comments, though?
That's a guy that, just soft. I mean, that's all it is to it, soft. I can't be mad at him. He got paid. He signed a contract, 3 years, $51 million. He made every single penny of that money his first year that he was supposed to get. So for him to sit back and say, if the coach says, I don't think he can stop the run, then you got to go out there and prove it.
Right.
You got to be a man and go out there and be like, all right, I'm going to show you what I can do. I can stop the run, but he couldn't pass rush either. I mean, come on, man. Stop being soft. All right, you got about it. You took the money, you stole the money, you left. Now you want to talk about it, man? I cannot sit back here and let a man tell me what I'm not going to do, without at least trying to prove it. He seemed disinterested on the field. He didn't want to pass rush. He couldn't hold up against the run. And he said that because you couldn't hold up against the run. You just couldn't do it. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to hate on him. You got your money, you got paid, and then you cried and you got up out of here. That's cool, man. But, man, you got to be a man about it. Don't cry about it, man. Cry me a river, bro.
Yeah, kind of has some pride right there.
Yeah, man. You go out there. Can't nobody tell me what I can't do.
I'm sure he got that Super Bowl ring nice and shined up
at
the crib. Hey, back on Birds Huddle, continuing our countdown of the top 25 most important Eagles. We have been on a big run of defensive players over the past few days for sure. That continues today with number 17, Jalyx Hunt. So, Barrett, he's another guy who was with you in Seattle yesterday at Jason Kelsey's Beach Fest. What do you think of his spot on the list here and some of the guys that he's ahead of that we've already shown?
You know, I'm going to say this. You know, he's going to be one of the players I'm definitely going to focus on next year because I think his untapped talent is definitely going to show this year. I mean, to have 6.5 sacks, 3 picks, lead the teams in both categories is just amazing to start off with. Yeah, I know he plays safety, while, and then turn around into pass rusher. But he's just now learning how to be a real pass rusher. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's now learning, second moves after he goes with one move, going to a second move, getting going. He's, counter moves. Things he's just learning. He's learning how to break down tape, how to break down opponents, seeing what their weaknesses are, watching film, getting better at that. And they're really learning the defense and where he fits in and how he's supposed to get things going. So he could possibly be one of the guys you say, all right, he could shine and be a double-digit sack guy if he continues to work the way he's working. And that, when I see him on the field, he's definitely doing that. He hasn't really got his NFL body yet either. He's still working and trying to get into, his size and strength as far as being an NFL player. So I look for him being a really good player this year and making that transition into being an every down player.
Listen, what a diamond in the rough. Think about when the Eagles selected him with the 3rd-round pick in 2024 draft out of Houston Christian. So many people thought this was a gigantic reach. But prior to that, he played safety at Cornell, as Barrett mentioned. He's relatively new to the edge rusher position, but last year he led the Eagles in both sacks with 6 and interceptions with 3. I mean, talk about an overachiever. He's the first player in franchise history to ever do that. Hunt's still only 25 years old, Barrett, heading into this 3rd season. How big of a leap, though, can he take in year 3? You said he hasn't quite gotten his NFL body yet. You're expecting more from him, but how big of a leap can he make from where he was last year to this season?
Well, I mean, I don't know about, interceptions, but he did have a pick in the OTAs in a mandatory minicamp. I mean, a mandatory camp they had. He had a pick then, but I can definitely see him rushing the passer. Because, I mean, I watched even the 49er game. There were 2 instances in the 49er game he should have had a sack. He kind of whiffed on 2 sacks then. Mm-hmm. And all the sacks, throughout this year, he could have had like 10 or 11 sacks, just from the way he's been playing. But he's going to get quicker. He's going to get faster. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. And as those things start going up, his mindset as far as being an NFL player is only going to get better also. So, I mean, just learning a counter move. He used to be a guy to just run up the field, and that's it. Run up the field. I'm going to beat the guy with speed. I'm going to beat the guy with speed. Now he's going to beat the guy with speed. Oh, then he goes inside. These are all counter moves that can help his game even more. So then he's going to have a lot of guys just looking at him like, all right, this is going to be a guy that's going to run around the corner. But once he starts developing moves and stabs and playing long, he'll be somebody they're going to have to really deal with on the other side of the ball.
Earlier this offseason, Hunt was asked how big of a role he could play on this defense this year after some of the key offseason departures, and he had an interesting answer. Take a listen.
Whatever the team needs from me, I'll do it. If I need to take a bigger role, if I need to not take a bigger role, stay in the role that I am, I'm willing to do it. I want to win, and we have the opportunity here to do so. So, shoot, how selfish would that be for me to want to take a bigger role just because somebody left? Whoever naturally comes into that role is the person who I completely have confidence in, no matter who it is on the defense. So it is very unfortunate. Those are my brothers, man, and they're going to do their thing wherever they go. But in terms of me being here, whatever role I can fit in and whatever role the team needs me to play is what I'll do.
Listen, you often hear lip service, but that sounded pretty genuine, Barrett. As we look at this projected edge rusher group, how do you envision the snaps being divvied up here?
Well, at this point, you got to look at Smith being the guy that I think will be the starter coming out. He's played long enough, and they have a lot of confidence in him. And Vic Fangio loves his aggressive nature, so he'll probably will be the starter.
So Bernard and Smith on one,
yes,
on both ends.
So those will be the guys on both ends. But then, Hunt will come in on 3rd down, pass rushing downs, until he starts to get in and become a more dominant rushing, got the guy who will stop the run. But then, you got Ebenezer. He also has a lot of experience being out there also. He could step up also, and then Epiketi needs to step up also. Yeah. So those like 4 guys that are going to have to divvy up 2 positions. That's going to be hard, but that creates a lot of confidence in Vic Fangio saying, all right, then you guys go out there and fight for this position. It's not going to be a lot of reps. You got to make sure you make it happen when you get those reps. The competition is going to be fierce coming off the edge, and that's only going to help this team get better. But I do see Bernard and Smith starting it out as starters.